سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وبعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. The last week we have spoken about the Sahaba of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Khulafa al-Rashidun and the 10 Sahaba who have been given witnessing about that they are going to paradise. And I mentioned that there are lots of others who have been given witnessing that they are going to paradise. For example, in Bay'atul Ridwan, do you remember Bay'atul Ridwan? There was about 1,500 Sahaba. And Allah said about all of them that they are going to paradise. Allah said, لَقَدْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Do you remember the ayah? On which basically straight after the agreement, when the bay'ah happened, okay, he said, whoever who gave bay'ah to you under the tree, Allah has been pleased from them. So all of them are going to paradise, 1,500. And Rasulullah ﷺ said about the Badri Sahaba that no any sin will affect them. Do you remember hadith? Yeah. So it's not only 10. And also we were talking about the wives of the Prophet ﷺ and his family. And then we stopped on the following text. قال المصنف رحمه الله ونفعنا بعلومه وبكم آمين. وعلماء السلف من السابقين ومن بعدهم من التابعين أهل الخير والأثر وأهل الفقه والنظر لا يذكرون إلا بالجميل ومن ذكرهم بسوء فهو على غير السبيل. And the scholars of Salaf in Arabic language means the past generation. Salafa means the past generation. Khalaf means the latest generation, the next or the latest generation. It is in the page 79. So Salaf is but in Sharia terminology, Salaf means the first 3 generations. So it is the generation of Sahaba and Tabi'in and Atba'ut Tabi'in. So if anyone says that this is the opinion of our Salaf, it means that it is the way of our Sahaba, Tabi'in and Atba'ut Tabi'in. Did you understand? And whoever who came after them, their name is Khalaf, the latest generations. But that is Sharia terminology. But in Arabic language you can say Salafi means Salafi, my Salaf means my father or my grandfather or my grandfathers. So in Arabic language that's okay. But in Sharia terminology, if you say Salaf, means Sahaba, Tabi'in and Atba'ut Tabi'in. So the scholars of Salaf, Salafus Sabiqeen, the first Salafs, and the scholars of Tabi'in, they are the scholars of the truth. Okay? And they are the scholars of Hadith and they are the scholars of Fiqh. So we shouldn't mention any of them by bad things. So it doesn't matter if he is a scholar of Hadith, for example, you can say Tawus, one of the students of, for example, Abdullah ibn Mubarak, Abdullah ibn Abbas, or Sa'id ibn al-Musayyab, he is fiqh, scholar of fiqh, okay? Or for example, any of the Hadith or fiqh scholars of Salafus Salihin, the first 3 generations. So we shouldn't be saying anything bad about them, okay? Even in Hanafi fiqh we say that whoever who insults any of the Salaf, the first generation scholars, so he cannot bear witnessing. Okay, so his witnessing will not be valid. Did you understand? Yeah, so for example, in Islamic court we need to prove something, at least 2 witnesses, do you know? Yeah. So if any person who insults anyone from the first 3 generations, then his witnessing will not be accepted. Did you understand? Yeah. So that is our position. So we never mention any of the scholars from the 3 generations by anything bad, unless if he has done something bad, for example, things. For example, Jahm ibn Safwan, okay, the one who established the bid'ah about denying all of the attributes of Allah, okay, or for example, Wasil ibn Ata, and he was Tabai, or Atba'u Tabai, 3rd generation. He is the one who established Mu'tazila bid'ah way, okay. But anyone else who is within Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, it's not permissible for us to mention by anything bad, okay. ولا نفضل أحدا من الأولياء على أحد من الأنبياء عليهم السلام ونقول نبي واحد أفضل من جميع الأولياء. And our way, the way of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we never give a priority for any wali on top of any Nabi. Okay? And we say that, I'm sorry. And we never say that any wali, even the greatest wali, he is not better than any of the Anbiya. And we say that only one prophet is much more better than thousands or millions or billions of awliya. Okay? Because if they wouldn't be a prophet, there wouldn't be any wali. Because the person who brought the religion is prophet. Okay? And how this person became wali? By following him. So whatever he is doing, it will be accounted, it will be given, the reward of that will be given to the prophet even. Okay? So billions of awliya, they are less than only one prophet. وَنُؤْمِنُ بِمَا جَاءَ مِنْ كَرَامَاتِهِمْ. But in the same time we accept, we do not deny the karamat which some awliya have shown. وَصَحَّ عَنِ الثِّقَاتِ مِنْ رِوَايَاتِهِمْ. But with the condition that it have to be reliable narration. Did you understand? Yeah, so for example, sometimes we have got very strange narrations from some non-reliable ways, sources, that for example, someone wanted to go to Hajj, okay, but something happened and he couldn't. So Kaaba came and Kaaba performed Hajj on top of the wali, for example. Okay, so that narration doesn't have a reliable source. So we say that it is not right. Okay, it's something wrong. Okay, but we have got some kind of, for example, narrations which have got reliable sources. For example, once Abdullah ibn Mubarak was going through some like group of people, and some person, blind person, was staying there, and they said that here is Abdullah ibn Mubarak going. So he heard the voices, you know. So he said, what is this voice? So they said, it is Abdullah ibn Mubarak coming, so we came to meet him. So he said, oh Imam, please make dua, so I want to see. So he made dua, okay, and the person, okay, before Abdullah ibn Mubarak went away, he saw Abdullah ibn Mubarak, you know. Okay, so it was karama, okay. So if the karama of any wali comes from reliable sources, then we should accept it. But if it comes from non-reliable sources, then we should deny it, okay. And also, as you remember, what is the difference between a miracle, for example, mu'jiza and karama? What do you think?
Was a prophet.
Okay, yes. Okay, so I mean there have to be some differences. What do you think?
Mu'jiza is like a response to challenge to prophet.
Yes. So if anyone, for example, you can say mu'jiza, it comes as a reply to the challenge. Prophet says, I am prophet, God sent me. Then people say, then prove. Did you understand? But wali never says that I am wali. And whoever says that, it shows that he is not wali. Because wali, it happened once that Shaykh Abdul Qadir al-Kaylani, he was in his mosque. Okay, as you know, he was one of the greatest Hanbali scholars. He had a lecture of tasawwuf, or I don't know, some kind of lecture. And basically, someone said, let the most sinful guy to leave the mosque because we are starting our lesson. So Sheikh Abdul Qadir Kailani himself, he stood up and left the mosque. Okay, so awliya, they are the people who think that they are the worst Muslims. Did you understand? They are the lowest people. Okay, so no any wali say that I'm wali, so there is no any challenge then. Did you understand? Yeah. So that is one of the differences between karama and mu'jiza. Yes.
Sheikh, you know you said we believe in stories from reliable sources.
Yes.
Can I just ask, how do we know what is reliable and what is not?
Okay, excellent. So, for example, you will find that kind of stories in reliable book. For example, Ibn al-Jawzi. Do you know who is him? Hanbali scholar. He has got book named Sifatu Safwa. Sifatu Safwa. It is description of the purest people. We can say description of awliya. You can say. Okay. So he summarized that book from Hilyatul Awliya by Asbahani. Okay. And he said that he's going to mention only most reliable stories. Did you understand? But still, there is some weak hadith also. So he mentions lots of karamat there. Okay? But for example, let's suppose that you will go to some bookshop and there is some English book. Or some book, I don't know, any kind of book, you will just pick up and there is karamat of awliya and you don't know who is the author. Okay? So he's not Imam Zahabi, he's not Ibn Hajar Asqalani, he's not Imam Nawawi, he's not reliable scholar. He's just, I don't know. Okay, you don't know who is the author. Okay, so most likely he will mention that kind of stories. For example, Kaaba will come to make tawaf of some wali, or that kind of, for example, not reliable stories. Okay, and sometimes it's very strange. The brothers who are following that kind of fake stories, if they would think properly, that kind of stories go against even our Sharia, our belief, you know. Okay, so do you think that some wali would do something which goes against our, for example, religion? Never, because Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, he left the mosque because he responded, you know, to the guy who said the most sinful guy has to leave the mosque. So he was the guy who left the mosque. I mean, we don't think that he was the most sinful, but that's what he thought about him. Did you understand? Yeah. But in our time, mashallah, so many non-reliable scholars are flying around here, you know, giving lectures here, there, you know. Recently I had very bad argumentations with some of them about Abu Talib, the uncle of the Prophet ﷺ. So he said that he was Muslim and he's going to paradise. Okay, and it is one of the main points, issues which Abu Hanifa mentioned in his book named Fiqh al-Akbar. Do you know that Abu Talib passed away as a non-believer? Okay, and even it goes against so many ahadith on which Rasulullah ﷺ, for example, said that he went away as a non-believer. Do you know? And this person is very famous scholar. The person who made that kind of statement is very famous scholar. Okay, so I mean, if he is not aware that this issue is one of the issues which Abu Hanifa included in his book, then you have to forget about anything else. So if he doesn't know the usuli issues of Abu Hanifa, then you forget about branch issue of Abu Hanifa. Forget about it. He doesn't know. He's not aware about that. Okay. Anyway, I'm so sorry. So, وَنُؤْمِنُ بِأَشْرَاطِ السَّاعَةِ, and we believe on the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah, which Rasulullah ﷺ said. Minha. So minha means some of them is as following. So he doesn't want to mention each of them, but he just gave us an examples. Minha khuruj ad-Dajjal. So one of the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah is Dajjal. And Dajjal, as we know, he is a human being. He's not something different, a creature. He is a human being. Okay, and but he will give with lots of black magic. Okay. Yeah, and I don't want to keep speaking about it because alhamdulillah, most of us we know about him. Okay, ومنها نزول عيسى ابن مريم عليهما السلام من السماء, and one of the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah that Isa alayhi salam will come down from the sky. Okay, we have got some of disagreement. Some of the scholars, even Muslim scholars, they say that Isa ibn Maryam, he passed away okay, he wasn't put on the cross, okay, which Quran denied. Okay, وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ means they didn't kill him and they didn't put him on the cross. But they say that Quran doesn't deny that he didn't pass away. Did you understand? Yeah. So they are finding that to stay alive for 2,000 years is something not logic. You understand? Yeah. So I mean, if Ali radiallahu anhu says, he says, if the religion would be by logic, then to wipe on the beneath of our leather socks would be more logic than to wipe on top of it. But I saw the Prophet doing so. Did you understand? So religion is nothing to do with our logic, because our logic is very tight, very limited. Okay, very limited. وَنُؤْمِنُ بِطُلُوعِ الشَّمْسِ مِنْ مَغْرِبِهَا, and we believe that sun will sunrise one day will be from the west. Sun will rise from the side of sunset, from the west, basically. وَخُرُوجِ دَابَّةِ الْأَرْضِ مِنْ مَوْضِعِهَا, and also we do believe that some animal, دَابَّةُ الْأَرْضِ, dabba is animal of the earth, you can say, will come out. Rasulullah ﷺ explained that close to Yawm al-Qiyamah, this animal will come out, okay, and it's not a human being, it's a different kind of animals, but it will be speaking, okay, and it will be basically pointing on the forehead of a human being, okay. So if he is Muslim, so there will be some light, and if he will be non-believer, then there will be a black point, black dot, and even the people after that will be calling the people by the title. So they will say, "Oh mu'min, oh kafir," and no one will be hurted by that, because now even the hidden disbelief will come out. Did you understand? So there will be only two groups of people, mu'min and non-mu'min. And inshallah, maybe in the future, inshallah, we'll talk about the science of Yawm al-Qiyamah in more detail. But today, let's try to complete the Aqeedah. ولا نصدق كاهنا ولا عرافا ولا من يدعي شيئا يخالف الكتاب والسنة وإجماع الأمة. You can say within this one text, Imam Abu Hanifa explained the whole you can say understanding of religion. We never believe kahin wa arraf. Kahin, you can say kahin is the one who has got astrology, or the one who says that I have got a jinn who brings me a knowledge of ilmul ghaib. Whatever will happen in the future, he brings for me. Did you understand? So that is kahin. Okay? So astrology by using the stars. So for example, this star is on that position, okay, so it means that tomorrow it will be raining. Or for example, the next year war will happen, or earthquake, or something like that, okay. And what about the jinns? So about the jinns, basically we have got very big disagreement in our time and in the previous centuries. So is it permissible to, for example, someone said that he has got some friend from jinn, and is it permissible to use him for your own, for example, goals? Okay, so we say in general, okay, we say that the first group, okay, who says it is not permissible, it is mainly our Salafi brothers, okay, and also some of Shafi'i scholars, they say that it is not permissible. It doesn't matter if it is for good reason or for bad reason, okay. And the second group is the most of the Hanafis, Malikis, and the rest of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and including Sheikh Taqiyuddin Ibn Taymiyyah, on which, do you know, for example, Salafis, they disagreed with Ibn Taymiyyah in several issues. So this is one of them. So Sheikh Taqiyuddin Ibn Taymiyyah, he said that as long as the person is using him for good things, then it is permissible. So for example, if I'm a bad guy, then if I want to do a black magic to you, to separate you from your wife, then I will send some jinn, you know, to cause a problem, okay? And to solve that problem, you have to just keep on reading Surah Al-Baqarah or something like that, you know, okay? But some person, he has got weak iman, you know, and he's very bad practicing Muslim, but he comes to me, and I have got good Muslims also. He says, please, can you help me? So now I can send my friend, Muslim jinn, to him, to beat that kafir jinn, to take him away. Did you understand? So the bigger group of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and including Shaykh Taqiyuddin ibn Taymiyyah and his student Ibn al-Qayyim, they said, as long as you are doing it for good reason, then it is permissible. Did you understand? But we are, as Hanafis, we say, because if you want to take off control of some jinn, then you have to perform some kind of exercises. Do you know that? So we are, as Hanafis, we say that that is haram. That is one of the major sins. Did you understand? So when it can be applied, for example, this fatwa, the first fatwa, when it can be applied only in two situations. The first situation is, there is some certain people, they will have friends, jinn friends, even without performing any kind of exercises, you know. And their exercises is very, very bad, you know. Sometimes you have to, for example, keep, for example, the meat of that animal in your clothes for 40 days. That kind of exercises. Okay, so we say that that is haram. And some of our scholars say that it may cause kufr even. Okay, so the person who has got his friend natural without performing any exercises, so then he can use his friend, jinn friend, for good reasons. That's the first situation. The second situation is someone who performed bad exercises to take off control of some jinns, and afterward he made tawbah. Okay, so but still he will have his friends, jinn friends, you know. So then we say that it is permissible for him to use the jinns on good reasons. But someone who doesn't have jinn friend, and he picks up our fatwa on which we say that it is permissible to use jinn on good way, and then he performs exercises to use the jinn on good way, we say is not permissible. Did you understand the difference? So it means that if you already have jinn friend, then it is permissible. But if you don't have, then you will make some exercises to take some jinns. We say that that is not permissible. Did you understand it?
Sheikh, what about charging for the service?
Look, usually we say that, for example, whatever you are doing, so for example, jinns, they are also as a human being. They have to pray, you know. They're just normal people, you know, but they're jinns, okay? So if I would, for example, I'm a doctor, and if I would describe some medicine for you, would it be permissible for me to take some payment for that? Yes. Yeah, so that is not normal thing, you know. So it is normal thing, okay? But again, we are saying that, for example, Salafis, why do they say that it's not permissible? Okay, because they say even in the beginning, in the like normal situation, even if it's permissible, but by practicing it, you will start believing on that. Did you understand? Means that you are doing that by yourself independently. You are, for example, causing, health for someone without any dependence. Did you understand? So that causes kufr. Did you understand? So if that's the case, then there is no any disagreement that is haram. Did you understand? There is no any disagreement that is haram. Anyway, so that is about kahin. And what about arraf? Arraf, he is the one, I don't know, do I have it now? So if you would lose some of your items, then you would go to him, and he would say, okay, go to that kind of places, and then you will find it there. So we do not believe on both. No kahin, no arraf. Rasulullah says, whoever who believes on kahin, so then whoever goes and sits and listens to kahin, astrology guy, and he believes, then he disbelieved on whatever I brought. Okay? Yes, so it's a very dangerous issue. And also we say that whoever, and there is the other hadith, Rasulullah says, whoever who believes on astrology guy, his salat will not be accepted for the next 40 days. So it is very, very dangerous issue.
On this issue, Sheikh,
yeah,
practically, if this happens, and
yeah,
it's quite common, where people then go to seek help from people who say they have jinn. Is it your responsibility to find out if the person, how he has controlled the jinn, if it's a friend, it's voluntarily done, or whether he has gone through the ritual to control the jinn.
No. What we're saying, so for example, to practice means to make that exercises that is haram. But as long as he has got that now, so that it doesn't matter.
But if I go to somebody...
Yeah. No, you don't have to. You're not responsible to find out how did he get that. So only the problem is you have to find out, is he using his jinns on good way or on bad way?
So as long as somebody is using the jinn for good,
yeah,
you can go to them. Because my understanding was that if someone is doing black magic,
yes,
you can't actually go to them.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, as long as they're using it for good.
Yes, of course, yes,
okay.
yes. So black magic, but there is some people, whoever who has got that kind of connection with jinns, they will be using it for both ways.
Yes.
You know, for bad and for good also, because it's the reason of income, you know.
Yeah.
But so how to find that? There is some certain people who are very practicing. Did you understand? And they will have the jinns also. Okay. And why they will have the jinns? Because jinns also, as we, you know. Okay. So for example, we love some of the brothers. Okay. And whom we love normally. If you're a good person, then you will love that one who will be coming for 5 times pray here, you know. So we'll love that kind of... So jinns are the same. So if the person will be good practicing, then only good jinns will be loving him, you know. Did you understand? So there is very famous story. Abu Bakr ibn Abi Dunya mentioned that story in his book. So it happened that there used to be some house next to the river, next to the forest. Okay? And the people, they wouldn't buy that for longer than 2-3 weeks, you know. Okay? And once some student came, and the house owner wanted to give it for rent, for very, very cheap. And the students in that time, and even in our time, they are the most poorest people, you know. Yes. So, for example, if you see someone who is, you know, like skeleton, say, in which university are you studying? You know? Because definitely is a student. Okay. So that student, he went and he basically he said that I will be staying there. And he stood there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, and nothing happening. Because why the previous owners, they left the house? Because bad things used to happen. Okay. And after about 3-4 months, okay, the house owner came and said, it's very strange that you are still living in here. He said, what's the problem? He explained that there is some jinns are living in here, so they are causing problems. So no one is living here for more than 2 weeks. Then students said, yes, I saw some of them. Okay, and they said that the people who used to come here before, they used to be non-practicing. They used to come to, you know, commit zina, to drink alcohol. And the jinn people who used to live there, they were very practicing Muslims. So they disliked them, you know. But when the student of knowledge came, he doesn't have money to do anything bad. So he used to only study and pray tahajjud and to cry, to ask for knowledge, you know. So he said, we love you, so do not leave. So you have to stay here. You understand? So, okay, so jinns are the same as we are. Okay, they can love and they can hate also. So if some good practicing person, for example, especially if he's a scholar, if he, for example, will have jinn friends, then most likely those jinns is not going to be disbelievers. Did you understand? Anyway. وَلَا مَنْ يَدَّعِ شَيْئًا يُخَالِفُ الْكِتَابَ وَالسُنَّةَ وَإِجْمَاعَ الْأُمَّةِ. And also we do not trust anyone who pretends, who claims anything which goes against Quran or against Sunnah or against Ijma. Did you understand? For example, the recent statement about Abu Talib, okay? Or for example, recently the other thing also happened, some of the brothers said that Rasulullah could read and write also. Okay? That kind of thing, it goes against Quran, you know. There is some certain ayah. So many ahadith confirm that Rasulullah he couldn't read and write. Yes.
The evidence they use is when the Prophet said Ma'ana Bikari, that I cannot read, but they say that can also mean what should I read?
Sorry?
When the Prophet, when Jibreel came down. And
no, of course. The person who said it, definitely he's not Arabian. Am I right? Definitely he's not Arabian.
No, he's not.
Yeah, because
but
if he would be...
teacher.
Sorry?
He's an Arabic teacher.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying, because if he would know the Arabic language, he would never say that. Okay? Means what if you want to say what should I read? Okay? Then you have to say ما أنا أقرأ, ماذا أنا أقرأ, ماذا أنا أقرأ. Okay, but whenever you are saying ما أنا بقارئ, okay, means I'm not a reader. ما أنا okay, but if you want to say what do you want me to read, then you have to say ماذا أنا أقرأ. Do you understand? Do you understand? So I mean, I don't know, is there anyone who can speak Arabic? Okay, so please, if you will have a chance to speak with any Arabian, just offer it to him, and then inshallah you will find out. Okay, and also Quran says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما كنت تقرأ من قبل من كتاب ولا تخطه بيمينك إذا لارتاب المبطلون. And before this, before we sent you a message, you wasn't reading any book, and you wasn't able to read and to write. Okay, otherwise the disbelievers, they would have a reason to doubt. So Quran is very clear. Okay, and also, for example, in a hadith, in one of the hadith, for example, Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, Rasulullah ordered Ali radiallahu anh to write. Do you remember? And then he ordered to rub it out. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm not going to do that because you are the Prophet and I'm not going to rub it out. He said, then show me, I will do that. Okay, if Rasulullah would know that, then why he needs to ask, where is it? Okay, yeah, anyway, it is one of the argumentations which has been set up by non-believers to insult the Prophet ﷺ, to say that he has stolen his knowledge from Torah and Injil. Okay, but Allah cut it off, all of that, and He made the Prophet ﷺ to not to be able to read and write. Okay, so whatever goes against Quran, Sunnah, or Ijma, we never accept it, even if the greatest scholar will come. For example, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu and his fatwa about temporary marriage. We didn't accept that. Why? Because it went against Quran and Sunnah and Ijma. Did you understand? But it doesn't mean that we're cursing him. Of course, he's our leader, he's our imam, okay? But we say that each single person can make, for example, mistakes. So we excuse him, but we do not accept. وَنَرَى الْجَمَاعَةَ حَقًّا وَصَوَابًا وَالْفُرْقَةَ زَيْغًا وَعَذَابًا. And we believe that Jama'ah means the biggest group of Muslims, that is the truth. Okay, and as I told you, the bigger group of the scholars. Okay, even if the biggest group of scholars will say something, okay, and the biggest group of ignorance will say something totally different, and the number of ignorance, it's all the time more, always more than scholars. So then we still will follow the scholars. Did you understand? So we do not care about the ignorance, even if there will be billions and there is only 3 scholars against them. Okay, so 3 scholars, it will be the bigger group of Muslims. وَالْفُرْقَةَ زَيْغًا وَعَذَابًا. And we believe that the disparate is the punishment from Allah. So we never do something which causes a disparate between the ummah. Okay. وَدِينُ اللَّهِ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَالسَّمَاءِ وَاحِدٌ وَهُوَ دِينُ الْإِسْلَامِ قال الله تعالى إن الدين عند الله الإسلام وقال تعالى ومن يبتغي غير الإسلام دينا فلن يقبل منه وقال تعالى وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا. And the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one, on the sky and on the earth. It is Islam. Okay, we have got two different things. One is deen and the second is sharia. Deen means religion, sharia means constitution. Okay, it's practicing constitution. So for example, in the religion of Adam alayhi salam, in the constitution of Adam alayhi salam, it was permissible for the sister to marry his own brother, her own brother. Am I right? So that is Islam. Deen is one, but constitution is different. It is the same religion we have, Islam, but constitution is different. So now in our time, it's not permissible to do that. Okay? So, religion is only one, that is Islam. وَهُوَ بَيْنَ الْغُلُوِّ وَالتَّقْصِيرِ. And that is all the time between two extremes. Okay? So one group all the time says that Allah has got a place and He has to be in some place. Okay? And the second group, they say Allah, for example, He cannot speak, He cannot hear, He cannot see. They will deny the attributes. Okay? And the first group, the first extreme, they will confirm the attributes with extra things. Okay, so for example, one of them said that Allah is Allah has got everything except a nose and private place. Because all of the, for example, words have been used in Quran. For example, Yadullahi fawqa aydihim, do you know? So they say that Allah has got everything except nose and private place. So that is one extreme. And the second extreme, they say Quran has been created. Why? Because there is only one creator. Only one thing which have to be pre-time existence. Okay, and if we will say that Quran was even in the pre-time, then there will be two of them. Did you understand? So there have to be only one. Are you understanding? Or for example, they said also the second extreme, they said Allah cannot be angry. Do you remember? Because to be angry means that blood will be moving faster and your eyes will get red, you know. Allah never can be like that, you know. So that is second extreme. Okay, so our religion is between two extremes. So we say that Allah will be angry. But what about blood, for example, moving fast? Okay, so that is the sense of being angry in human being, in the animals. That is not to be angry. That is only one of the signs of being angry. Okay, so Allah speaks and He sees and He gets angry. So He has got attributes, but it doesn't mean that His attributes look like someone's attributes. So our religion is between two extremes. And وَبَيْنَ التَّشْبِيهِ وَالتَّعْطِيلِ, and بين التشبيه, تشبيه and ta'til, which I just explained. وَبَيْنَ الْجَبْرِ وَالْقَدَرِ, and our religion, Islam, is between Jabr and Qadar. Jabr means that you have been forced to do whatever you are doing, because decree has been decided already. So whatever you are doing, it's not your choice. That is Jabr. And Qadar is whatever you are doing, that's only by your choice. Okay? And our religion is in between. Whatever we are doing has been created by Allah, and it has been performed by us. وَبَيْنَ الْأَمْنِ وَالْإِيَاذِ, and our religion is again between two extremes. The one is, Aman is to be safe. That I'm going to paradise, no doubt, because I said, La ilaha illallah. Okay? And the second is Iyaz, means to lose a hope. Means, for example, I committed some sin, so I'm never going to paradise. Did you understand? So we never say that. We say that I'm Muslim, so I hope that I will go to paradise. I will never say that definitely I will go to paradise. And the second thing, even if I will commit the biggest major sin, still I will keep my hope. Because even the biggest sin comparing to the mercy of Allah is small piece, you know. So I will never lose my hope, and I will never be certain that I'm going to paradise. So between two extremes. فَهَذَا دِينُنَا. So all of these which Imam Abu Ja'far al-Tahawi transmitted from Abu Hanifa, that is our religion. وَاعْتِقَادُنَا ظَاهِرًا وَبَاطِنًا. So that is our belief. ظَاهِرًا means internal, isn't it? ظَاهِرًا. External and internal. Okay? So, for example, in our time, you can find someone who says that, for example, for example, external religion, he is doing something, but inside he has got lots of bid'ahs, and he pretends that that is religion, you know. No. We don't have anything which opposes our external religion. So both is, for example, I say 5 times a day is fard, so inside I say that also. Okay? And I say that, for example, one prophet is better than billions of awliya, external, and I believe that also. So there is nothing which contradicts. There is nothing which I say goes against what I believe. Did you understand? So whatever I say, that is the thing only which I believe. وَنَحْنُ بُرَاء إِلَى اللَّهِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَنْ خَالَفَ الَّذِي ذَكَرْنَاهُ وَبَيَّنَّاهُ. And we disown anyone who goes against whatever we mentioned. We disown. We are not one of them. Okay? وَنَسْأَلُ اللَّهَ تَعَالَى أَنْ يُثَبِّتَنَا عَلَى الْإِيمَانِ وَيَخْتِمَ لَنَا بِهِ. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us certainty and to keep us on Iman. وَيَخْتِمَ لَنَا بِهِ. And to keep it till the death, till the end. وَيَعْصِمَنَا مِنَ الْأَهْوَاءِ الْمُخْتَلِفَةِ. And we ask Allah to defend us, to protect us from different kind of bid'ah caprices and bid'ahs. وَالْآرَاءِ الْمُتَفَرِّقَةِ. And we ask Allah to protect us from different kind of opinions. وَالْمَذَاهِبِ الرَّدِيَةِ. And different kind of bad schools. مثل, for example, al-mushabbiha, the one who compare God to a human being or to creature. Wal-mu'tazila, okay, about Khalq al-Quran, do you remember? Mu'tazila. It's the group, do you remember?
Yeah.
Mu'tazila, those who say that Quran has been created, do you remember? They are Mu'tazila. Rationalists, yeah. Well, Jahmiya, those who deny the attributes of God. They say Allah never can be angry and He never can be happy. Did you understand? They deny all of that. Well, Jabariya, they say that a human being doesn't have a choice. So Allah pushed him to do something, and then He punished him for that also. We're not one of them. Well, Qadariya, those who say that whatever I decide, it will happen. My choice and only. So if I will choose something, then Allah never can choose anything else. Did you understand? So we never say any of these bid'ah school opinions. وغيرهم and etc. من الذين خالفوا السنة والجماعة. So and etc. And the other groups who went against Sunnah, the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, والجماعة, and the way of the first Salaf as-Salihin. وحالفوا الضلالة, and those who went into the misguidance. وَنَحْنُ مِنْهُمْ بُرَاء, and we disown all of that kind of schools. وَهُمْ عِنْدَنَا ضُلَّالٌ أَرْدِيَاء, and they are, according to our understanding, they are misguided and bad people. وَبِاللَّهِ الْعِصْمَةُ وَالتَّوْفِيقُ, and Allah, He is only the one who protects us, and He is only the one who supports us to do good deeds. وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. 15 weeks is too much. Okay, anyway, today I wanted to go to the kufr. Did you bring the worksheets? Yeah, but also, well, on the way, the brother, he suggested that maybe I have to make some short test maybe, and the next week maybe it's better for us to go to the test. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, because mashallah, 15 weeks, I mean, we'll have to be sure that it didn't disappear, you know. Yeah. So, please, who can explain me the main position of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah in terms of explaining the decree? What is that? Only one word. Yes. Excellent. So we never give interpretation. So whatever you find interpretation in here or in there, that just to stop the fitna among the people. Okay, but our own belief that we say that decree of Allah no one can understand. Okay, and the second thing, what do you think? Someone, for example, commits, for example, zina. Is he kafir or not?
No.
Why?
It's a sin.
Okay.
Take him out of Islam.
Excellent. Okay. So sin never causes kufr. Okay. What do you think? Is it permissible to pray janazah on, for example, someone who used to commit a major sin?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it permissible?
Yes.
Okay, any exception?
If he commits suicide, then only the Imam.
Okay, exception is only for him. Okay, excellent. Okay, so, for example, is it permissible for me to, for example, I see someone, okay, or for example, let's say, one of the greatest scholars, I say that definitely he is going to paradise. Is it permissible for me to do that?
No, you can say, inshallah, I hope.
Are you Gustav? You are insulting our awliya.
I don't know my shaykh taught me.
Is it? Okay. Okay, excellent. We say we hope, and we pray for them. We say we hope, but we never give witnessing to someone that he's going to paradise 100%, except to whom? Excellent. Only the Prophet ﷺ have given that kind of promise. Look, now, do you think, um, now maybe you don't have exact text in here. Is it permissible for me to disown some Muslim, to leave, as to say that he's just nothing? Is it permissible for me to do that? What do you think?
Would it depend on how bad an influence he is?
So
you feel that you may have to compromise your deen if you maybe associate with him too much.
I understood. No. Okay, so my question is, for example, let's suppose that some brother, for example, is a drug dealer. Okay, so I will disown him because of that. I will say that he's not one of us, just, you know.
No, it's not. No.
Why?
You can't decide for. You can't just leave someone and he's not committed an act of kufr.
Excellent. Excellent. As long as he is Muslim, so we never disown. Okay, and we say that each single Muslim is wali of Allah. Okay, he is God of Allah, but it depends. His level depends. So Muslim who, for example, commits zina, as long as he is Muslim, so he is God of Allah because he believes. Okay, but he is very low level wali. Okay, but the person who never, for example, disobeys, he never, for example, commits major sins, maybe small sins here or there, it could happen. Okay, and he prays 5 times a day in the mosque and prays tahajjud. Okay, so he is wali, but he is very high level wali.
Sheikh, just because you mentioned the drug issue.
Yes.
In Saudi, for example.
Yes.
You caught with drugs, you hang.
Yeah, you will be killed. Yes, of course. Yeah. So look, I mean, when we say that we will not disown, it means that we will not throw him out of our community. He is one of us. Okay, but the punishment, he will be punished. So, for example, even we said in terms of Ahlul Bayt, we said that they are pure from kufr. Okay, but it doesn't mean that if some Ahlul Bayt will steal something that he will not be punished. He will be punished. Because even Rasulullah said that even if my daughter Fatima would steal something, I would chop off. Do you remember hadith? Okay, so to apply our constitution is one thing, but to disown him, something different. Okay, so for example, if you remember, once they brought, mashallah, there was some strong, Bod Jawani guy. He used to drink alcohol in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, and they used to bring him, drunk all the time. Okay, so Rasulullah, he used to give him advice: do not do that. Okay, you will harm your body, you will be sinful, this and that. But each time he used to drink alcohol to go back, so it was weak iman, okay, or weak, maybe not iman, weak personality. So he couldn't say no to himself if he would see a bottle, So once they brought him again, then Rasulullah said, okay, beat him. Okay, and the people started beating with heads, with with the shoes, chapels, with clothes. And one of them, he cursed him. He said, oh, something bad, okay, may Allah curse you, this and that. So he insulted him. So Rasulullah said, do not say that, do not curse him, because he loves God and his messenger. So to disown is one thing, but to punish him is something different. So when we are punishing him, it's not because we disown, but we are helping him. Okay, because punishment in here is easier than punishment there. Okay, so if he has got that weak personality that he cannot stop himself, then we have to help him, and our help is that help. And also, is it permissible, for example, to argue about God?
No.
Excellent. It's not permissible. So Imam Tahawi says, وَلَا نَخُوضُ فِي اللَّهِ وَلَا نُمَارِ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ. We never go deep in terms of understanding of God or in terms of thinking. But to remember is one thing, that He is great, okay, or He is alone, one. That is one thing, but to think how he is, okay, and what He is, that is totally different. So we never do that, and we never argue with the people about that. Okay, so to say, for example, what's the width of Allah? Okay, what's His length? You understand? That kind of things. So we never speak about anything like that. And what about to argue about religion? What do you think?
Only for scholars.
Okay, excellent. Okay, is there any conditions?
Not to seek the other person who says something incorrectly.
Not to wait for the other person to get sick.
Okay, excellent. Okay, alhamdulillah. All of that is right. So basically, the first point, we never argue about religion. And it is permissible only for the scholar or the one who knows that he is on the true way, but only to convince him, but not to argue. Do you remember? Okay. And also, as the brothers mentioned, if you remember the story which I mentioned in here about Abu Hanifa and his son. You are seeking for your partner to say something kufr. Okay, and whoever who seeks for his partner to say something kufr, he becomes kafir before his partner. Do you remember the story? Do you remember?
The bird.
Yeah. So basically, that is our main position, especially Hanafi position. So, for example, it happens a lot. So, for example, you want to destroy your partner in front of everyone, so you wait for him to say something kufr word. So it makes you kafir before him. Because we say, al-ridha bil-kufri kufrun. Okay, to accept kufr of someone or kufr of yourself, that in itself is kufr. Did you understand? And also, al-ridha bil-ma'siyati ma'siyah, and acceptance of sin, that is sin in itself. For example, someone says me, do you know that person who, he basically killed someone, or he committed zina? I say, oh, it's nice. So that in itself is sin. Okay, because if you remember, we have to hate it. Because the lowest level of iman is to change that by our hearts. Means to hate the sin. Okay. Okay, alhamdulillah, you've done well. What do you think about Iman? If you remember, we have got two, for example, schools about Iman, about substance of Iman, definition of Iman. So according to Abu Hanifa, that is
Iman in the heart, believing.
Only? Excellent. So tongue only. So these two.
Yeah, the other opinion is
Iman, action.
Actions also, yeah. And whoever who says that Iman is action, that is the majority of basically Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. But as I told you, that disagreement is only just, you can say, is not real. Okay? Because by leaving one part of Iman, you have to be kafir. Am I right? Okay? So whoever who says that practicing is part of Iman, he doesn't say that by leaving part of Iman, for example, not paying zakat, you are going to be kafir. He doesn't say that. Okay, so that basically disagreement is not a real disagreement. Okay, alhamdulillah. And also maybe the last question before we'll close the book. What do you think about decree? Can it be changed?
By
by
dua.
dua.
Is it only?
Depends if it's written in Lawh al-Mahfuz.
Okay.
Then, no.
Okay, excellent. So whatever is written in Lawh al-Mahfuz, that stays without change. Okay, but whatever the angel they copy, yeah, that can be changed. Okay, that is by dua and by good deeds. So for example, Rasulullah says, whoever who wants to increase his life, okay, and whoever who wants to increase his wealth, then let him to keep in touch with his relatives, to connect his relationship, to remember. Okay, so it can be basically changed by dua or good deeds. Okay, and there is the other hadith. Rasulullah said that وَإِنَّ الْمَرْأَ لَيُحْرَمُ الرِّزْقَ بِذَنْبٍ يَكْسِبُهُ, means some person could avoid some rizq which is coming from Allah by some bad deed. Did you understand? So for example, Allah sent me a rizq that today, for example, I'm buying a car. And then I committed some sin. So that sin just can take it away. Hadith is in Musnad al-Imam Ahmad, which is reliable hadith. So deed can, for example, change the decree on good way, and the same as on bad way also. Did you understand? Yes.
Check about the increase of life.
Yes.
Wasn't that an incident when the Prophet ﷺ came home and his wife was doing dua for the Prophet ﷺ to increase his life, and her father's, which was Abu Sufyan.
Yes.
And he says, why are you doing dua for something that was already
Yes, excellent, yes. So we have got basically the second opinion, which is the opinion of Aqeedah, one of the Tabi'in, which said that two things never can be changed. The first is, as you say, the life, okay? And the second thing is happiness and yes, Sa'id or Shaqi. Okay, but it's his opinion only. Okay, but on the other side, if you remember when Adam a.s. saw his kids, he saw some light, and it was Dawood a.s. So he increased. Do you remember 40 extra? So when Malakul Maut came, he said, no, not yet. It's 40 years more. So he said, no, you've given that out. Do you remember? Yeah. So basically, Rasulullah, when he reported that, he meant something. Did you understand? So anyway, within Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we have got two positions, and both is our position, Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. You follow that one, welcome. You follow this one, you welcome. Both has got reliable proofs for that. Alhamdulillah. And now, yes, any question?
Yes. I've got a question relating to last week's session.
Okay.
I'm just a bit confused. You mentioned sadaqah last week.
Okay.
And you said it was in, and you mentioned 7 categories.
Yes.
Are there 2 types of sadaqah? There's zakat, and it's within certain categories,
yes.
categories, and then
yes.
there's sadaqah.
Yes.
And again, are there 2 different types of sadaqah?
Okay,
one general,
okay, excellent. Okay, so any sadaqah which mentioned in fiqh, it has to be given only for these 7 or 8 categories. In Hanafi madhab is 7, but in the other third madhab is 8. Okay. But if it is sadaqah of just, you can say spiritual something, you have seen some bad dream, okay? Or for example, you can say, for example, you have got some ill people, and you just want to, for example, to pay out some kind of sadaqah, okay? So for that kind of sadaqah, it can be used for any other categories also, but again, the first category is more stronger. But if you find sadaqah in fiqh books, so that have to be given only for these 7 groups. Did you understand? Yeah. So for example, they say, for example, do you know nazar? Nazar. Yeah. You say, for example, if Allah will give me wealth, then I will make qurbani of, for example, 1 sheep. So that is sadaqah. Rich people it's not halal for them to eat it. Did you understand? Why? Because nazar is sadaqah, which is in Sharia terminology, in fiqh. Did you understand? Okay? But now, for example, I am just making food and inviting the brothers. So this is sadaqah, but not in fiqh. Okay? In fiqh, is not sadaqah. It's just ihsan, But in spiritual sense, that is sadaqah. I saw a bad dream, so I'm inviting the people and feeding them. So that can be done for rich and for poor also. Okay, but any, for example, sadaqah in fiqh, so it has to be only these 7 categories. Did you understand? Okay, so now, do we have enough time, or what do you think?
No, I think we'll leave Guffer till next week, if that's okay.
Yeah. And also because, there's 2 options. One is I'm going to include some extra pages. So it could be 2 hours, or I can send you for example, bid'ah. So it will be each 1 hour. Kufr 1 hour, and bid'ah also 1 hour, 2 hours. Okay. Inshallah, I will decide what to do.
Yes. Are you going to cover shirk in that as well?
No, shirk is separate. It's 3rd class.
Separately?
Yes, of course, yeah. Or even maybe we could, because so many things, for example, Salafi brothers, they're saying something about us that it is kufr, and we're saying something about them that it is kufr. So we could do kufr in depth, and the same thing with shirk or bid'ah also. Or we can make it short now, okay, and maybe when we'll get tired from Quduri, then we'll have extra, for example, classes about, for example, detailed kufr lesson maybe.
So do you think it's important to cover those 3 fundamental
in my own understanding,
subjects
is very important.
First now, before we get on to the fiqh, because I think people need to clarify a lot of things which, the one in their own mind.
First question, is it important? It's very, very important. But now, it's your choice, I don't know.
The question is, of aid the understanding of fiqh, if we understood properly the concept of shirk bid'ah, that's what the brother's asking.
No, so I mean, no, there is no any, for example, it's nothing to do with each other.
No, I think the thing is, the fiqh is going to be a long.
It will be very long. Yes.
So I think for everybody, it might be very important to cover these three.
Okay, I'm ready.
Just for their own benefit for themselves.
Okay. No, in that case, in my own, for example, experience, when I read some new book, I need to understand it. After reading it, I need at least about a couple of months to understand it properly. So, for example, the person who understood this properly, he doesn't need to get extra lessons about kufr and shirk because he has got the rules, So now, but still, in my own understanding, because we're not that strong, for example, scholars, to understand. So we have to have 3, for example, classes. But is it now or later? I don't care. I'm ready for both. So you, for example, make mashwara, right? Then let me know, yeah. But anyway, so mashallah, it seems that I can see the questions, about kufr. So it means that I have to send extra pages, because 1 hour of kufr is not enough in here. Yeah, we need any brothers who was with me in kufr session in Oldham? Okay, how did you find it? Is it? Okay, did it clarify lots of questions that you had? Yeah, so, but maybe that was good there, but in here I will add different points, because alhamdulillah we've done Tahwiyyah, so something which has got connection with Tahwiyyah. Okay, so then you will let me know then. I'm ready for both, inshallah.
If there's any questions, we'll call it early home time today.
Sheikh, can I ask a question about awliya?
Yes.
Again, specifically our community.
Yes.
And specifically in Pakistan.
Yes.
You talked about reliable sources.
Yes.
Certain people
can
be considered as awliya. In Pakistan, they say there's tombs and shrines and everything.
Yes.
For so-called awliya.
Yes.
How do we treat those people that people say that are awliya, but their sources may not be reliable? How do we treat those people?
Okay,
how do we see those people?
Okay, alhamdulillah, great. The most important thing, we have to know and we have to recognize very well our own imams. Did you understand?
Yeah.
And then we should follow our own imams, because religion, the fitness which is happening in our time is so dark. Rasulullah speaks about our time, and he said that the fitness will be coming as a piece of dark night, and people will wake up by being Muslim, but then in the same day he will sleep as a kafir, and the person will wake up by kafir, and then in the same day he will sleep by being Muslim. Did you understand why? Because of these fitnas and bid'ahs. So now, and then they said, Ya Rasulullah, then what do I have to do then? He said, follow the biggest group. Okay, so now we have got our reliable sources. So he is in fiqh and aqeedah, mainly Abu Hanifa. Okay, or the other madhahib which I gave you. 4 madhahib in aqeedah and 4 madhahib in fiqh. And after that, if any masail is not mentioned in the books of Abu Hanifa or any other book, then we have to follow the reliable sources. So it is Ibn Hajar Asqalani, Imam Nawawi, Abdullah ibn Mubarak, that kind of scholars. Okay, and the last person which could be, for example, followed is Ali al-Qari, Imam Suyuti, Ali al-Qari, and Sheikh Abdul Hayy al-Laknawi. Did you understand? Because these are scholars who have been accepted by majority group of scholars. But what about the scholars who came after? We learn from them, but if they disagree with any point which have been done with the previous scholars, we say, excuse me, but I follow my, for example, the earliest scholars. Did you understand? So we have to recognize the names of our own scholars very well. Did you understand? And mashallah, in our time, each single person nearly is wali. Did you understand? But who's making them wali? Their own relatives, their own, for example, people. So, for example, some Shafi'i, for example, Imam Nawawi, he's wali. Everyone accepts. Hanbali accepts that. Hanafi accepts that. Maliki accepts that. But in our time, if some wali comes from some background, the other people, they don't accept him. So I don't know them. Did you understand? So if Imam Nawawi gives a confirmation, Ibn Hajar Asqalani or Zahabi, that kind of great scholars, say that he was wali, then I say yes, he was wali then. But what about the recent ones? I respect, I hope that Allah will forgive them. But is he, for example, that kind of high wali? I don't know. Because I don't have my own opinion in religion. So I have to follow Imam Zahabi and that kind of great scholars. So if he didn't say anything about our, wali, then I don't know. But I hope. That's it. Did you understand? Was it your question? Is it your question? Yes. So in our time, so many, for example, the first, the ijma, there is ijma of all of Muslims that Muslim never can be wali, great wali, by being mubtadi', by being misguided, by being non-practicing. Did you understand? So the first option is he has to follow Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Okay, but by making strange things, he will never be. Maybe Allah will forgive him, but he will never reach to the level of being wali. Okay, so anyway, they say al-istiqamatu aynul karama. Okay, to be right person. Istiqamah, do you know? To follow, to be practicing, to have right iman. That is exactly the miracle, karama. Not to, for example, fly or to walk on the, for example, water. Okay, but to be right person. But that is also karama. But the best karama is al-istiqamah, to not leave any nafil. So now is tahajjud. So he will pray tahajjud. Okay. For example, he will never backbite anyone. Okay.
Who said this?
Sorry?
Who said this?
Each single person. Al-istiqamatu anul karama. Imam Nawawi said that Ibn Hajar Asqalani, and if you remember, Rabbani also, Rabbani al-Thani, Mujaddid al-Rabbani, okay, in his maktubat, each single person says, Shaykh Abdul Ghani Nablusi, everyone says that. Al-istiqamatu anul karama. Yeah.
Shaykh, is it possible for, have you heard of any wali today that has done any karama, anything which is extraordinary?
Yes,
like the wali of previous years, previous generations.
Yes, of course, I saw quite a few of them also.
Can you tell us about them?
Sorry? No, okay, so once who was fasting with some of the brothers, and he was kid. He was maybe, 20 years old kid. Okay? And we knew that he was very practicing, because whenever we sit just to, to speak, as a friends, jokes, that, he used to just go to recite Quran, that kind of people. And once was fasting, and in Asian countries, especially in Uzbekistan, in some village, sometimes water will be cut off, it will not come. Okay, so we was concerned, and we didn't have anything to drink. It was very hot day, summer. Okay, and we said, there is no water. Shall we go somewhere? And it's very far to go to somewhere to ask. Even the neighbors, it's very far. It's very far home. Okay, and he said, inshallah, do not worry. That inshallah, by first azan we'll have water. Okay, and then azan of Maghrib, Allahu Akbar, and the water came. It was opened. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, and also each single day they used to come some bird, which is voice I've never heard, to wake up, to come, and especially we had a tree, to come to sit on the exactly same tree, okay, and to sing about 1 hour before Fajr, not sunrise but Fajr, okay, and we used to see the bird which is coming and then going, okay, so it wasn't its house, okay. And the voice was strange, okay, and that kind of things. Yeah, but huge karama, I didn't see that, but I've heard about a couple of them.
Sheikh, I have a question, please. Like brother was saying, especially in our community, especially when I go back home. For example, in my own family, we have a lot of trouble. Okay. You've got one extreme with the shrines and everything. In our family, we've got one extreme, so we shouldn't even go there. You shouldn't be going there, and they're pulling it like you're not going with them. And you got the other ones coming. It's Thursday, come with us. How far do you go and what do you do? And we're trying to keep the peace as well.
Okay, of course. No, as long is it something about your parents?
Sometimes.
So if it is not something with bid'ah, then you should please them. But if it is something about bid'ah, then do not do that.
Sheikh, what, for example, I mean, it's exactly the same. You go back home and
where do you draw the line?
They want you to come to, for example, the local shrine to do dua.
Okay.
And then what about those sacrificing the animal there and stuff, and how far do you go?
Okay, no, please, can you explain me the scenario? What is that about?
They ask, to what extreme would be they ask you to come along to the shrine, and then...
but why are they doing it?
Because some saint is buried there, some great scholars, they believe, or they know there have been some great scholars in that. So they bury there, so they go there, they give some rice to the poor people and things like that. And then that's fine, but when they start praying and doing sujood there on the qabr, that's where you draw the line. You go there, the scholar you believe in and everything, but where do you draw the line when they start doing that? Do you speak against it? Do you keep quiet? Do you not go?
No. Even if our parents will ask us to go, we shouldn't be going to that kind of things, okay? You know, first of all, we as the Asians, we love the graves, okay? It's very strange, you know, because anyway, inshallah, one day definitely I will be there also, okay? So I mean, why we don't see that faces in here or in the mosque, but we see them there, okay? Because each time when for example, people, they make up some kind of bid'ah, it looks very beautiful to our ill hearts, you know, okay? Because do you know, Rasulullah ﷺ says that fitna will be offered to our hearts, okay? As the wooden, brands put it together, several, for example, bid'ahs at once. And then Rasulullah ﷺ says, and some of the hearts will accept it, so anyone who accepts that, one dot will be put it, dark, black dot. And whoever who denies that, then one white, bright dot will be put there. So at the end, there will be two kinds of hearts. One dark one, and one bright one. And the bright one, no any sin will affect, and no any bid'ah or no any fitna will affect. Did you understand? Okay. So first they will see some bid'ah, and first they will say it is bid'ah, but you know, it's okay, alhamdulillah, you know. And then the next one, so the first dot is there. And then second, third, fourth, and after that, even if you will recite Quran that is not permissible, he will not accept, because it's dark already. Okay? But what about the bright one? It's bright, you know, white dot has been, because it refused. Its first bid'ah came, he said it's not permissible. Second, third, okay, it's not permissible, okay, and at the end it will be bright, so it will never accept any kind of fitna. Did you understand? Yeah. Anyway, well, so far, I don't know. Is there any, for example, graves on which anyone making sajda in here, or for example, slaughtering an animal here, or for example in Pakistan?
I think they give food. I mean, you'll see people who are offering food
in the graves.
Yeah, outside the shrine.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Shrine. What does it mean, shrine?
They make it
decorated.
They decorate the grave and make building around the grave.
Okay,
you must have seen it, Pakistan.
Yes, yeah, I've seen one. Yes. Okay. So they are distributing food there.
Yes.
To the poor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anybody has it.
Okay. No. We have got no. It's so many things came together. Some is permissible and some is not.
Yes. This is what we need to.
So that's my question.
That is the problem.
No. Okay. So first, no. Really, I would like to delay this for the class of bid'ah. Okay. But now I can say that there is two things. Okay, two main things. The first is to visit grave. Is it permissible or not? Yes. Definitely. Even by, for example, I will go to visit, for example, the grave of, for example, Imam Abu Hanifa. Okay. So that visiting is not only to recognize the Yawm al-Qiyamah, but because Rasulullah said that if any person will go to visit his friend who passed away, that person will be pleased. Do you know that? He will recognize him. Okay, and it is hadith. Inshallah, I will bring you the text of a hadith. So, for example, I've been following Abu Hanifa, okay, and he will be rewarded because I'm following and I'm teaching his madhab. Did you understand? So he will be pleased. Did you understand? So that is one thing. But the second thing is to build a grave, like a big building. So in our madhab, in Hanafi madhab, that is bid'ah, is not permissible. Did you understand? And we say that it should be as a maximum that much. Do you know? On top of the did you understand? And also we say that there have to be small stone, or as a maximum that much stone on which is written who is buried there, but nothing else. Did you understand? So two things together. One is permissible and one is not permissible. Did you understand? So it's a very complicated situation, but inshallah in maybe the second class about bid'ah, we'll speak about it in detail, inshallah. Okay, yeah, and inshallah I will bring you the text from Imam Dhahabi, okay, and from other Ibrahim al-Harbi and from other reliable sources, Khatib al-Baghdadi, and some of the issues which maybe some of us believe that it is bid'ah, but it is not. Okay, and there is the other issues which some of us may believe that it is sunnah, but it could cause kufr even, according to Hanafi madhab. Okay, yeah, so for example, we say that, do you know, for example, sometimes we, for example, slaughter a sheep. For example, I invited my sheikh, and as soon as he will come, I will slaughter the sheep under his, for example, feet or even somewhere else. So I will be delaying that just for him. So if I have done that to respect him, then this fish is maita, dead meat. It's not permissible to eat. Do you know? So that is our madhab, Hanafi madhab. Did you understand? But it seems to be okay. Why should be a problem as long as I'm saying Bismillah Allahu Akbar? Did you understand? Yeah.
Is it the intention?
Sorry?
Is it the intention?
Yes. So intention, if it is because I want to give him fresh meat, so it's okay. But if this is maita, and some of our scholars said that it may cause kufr. Did you understand? That is Hanafi madhab. Okay. So it's very complicated, you know. So inshallah we'll speak about it. During our Quduri classes also we'll speak about it, inshallah. Any other question?
Just a quick one.
Yes, please.
Can a mosque give qarza hasana to another mosque? Fifth question.
Yes, of course, definitely, as long as the money which has been given is not, it hasn't been given specifically to this mosque. Okay, it has been given for the mosque, for, you know, mosque projects. So the people who given that money, they don't care. Did you understand? They don't mind. Okay, but if this money has been given only for some specific Imam Abu Hanifa mosque, then it cannot be used for other, because the intention of the person who gave it affects, you know. Yeah. Okay.
Your next week, brothers. Take care.